All right, so I'm going to summarize it here real quick. A New York judge convicted a man over a gunsmith hobby, and the judge said the Second Amendment does not exist in her courtroom.
Really?
Yep.
You should be fired.
Exactly. I saw there's a video, a podcast where this guy went on and he kind of told the story of what exactly happened. But unfortunately, he's been convicted. A jury convicted this guy. And so there was a software engineer that lives in New York State. I don't think it's in New York City. Maybe it is. I don't know. But somewhere in New York State. And, of course, they got stupid gun laws out there. But he was a guy that tinkers. He's got like a machine shop in his basement and everything like that. So he likes to tinker and build stuff. Well,
the American dream.
Exactly. And then he found out that you can buy kits and build your own gun.
Yeah.
You could have the parts mailed to your house, or if you buy a stripped receiver, you got to go through an FFL, but then everything else you can, we all know the process, and it's completely legal. So he's like, hey, that's cool. I want to start gunsmithing, building my own stuff for personal use. And so he started buying kits under his name, and unfortunately he used credit cards to buy all this stuff. And because our government is super outrageous, the state of New York took an interest in the stuff that he was buying somehow. I don't know if it was because of the credit card companies were tracking where he was spending his name at, but I didn't get enough information on how they got noticed. But the state of New York took interest on what he was doing. And in April of 2022, he woke up in the middle of the night by a raid, by a joint task team that went in with weapons, and they were going through with flashlights. And he said, I woke up and like I saw these weapon lights through my door, and he's like, hey, like he thought they were at the wrong house. No, they were there for him.
That's crazy.
Because he was gunsmithing, and apparently New York State doesn't like that. And it's not like he was, because you can't do that and then sell that stuff. Yeah, but if you use it for personal use, the Gun Control Act of 1968 allows an unlicensed individual, a regular civilian, that doesn't hold an FFL to make any non-NFA items. So you can't make a short barrel rifle, short whatever. So a regular AR-15, a regular pistol that's legal, firearm for personal use, as long as it's not for sale or distribution. So this guy never even fired these guns.
He just built them for himself.
He built them, never fired them, didn't have the intent to sell them or anything like that. It was just something he wanted to tinker around with. And once New York State caught wind, they raided his house.
That's crazy.
If you know anything about New York City, there is so much crime going on.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on all those assholes doing the crime or the people with these Glock switches, they're going after poor individuals like this guy.
Dang.
And so he went to court, and it was a woman judge that literally told his attorney that they couldn't bring up the argument of Second Amendment into her courtroom because it does not exist there.
So
she said, you cannot argue Second Amendment. This is New York.
You can't argue. It's a constitution.
That was specifically what the judge told the attorney.
That judge should be disbanded.
Right.
Or whatever. And never be able to disbarred and never have to see a courtroom ever again. And her life should be ruined for that.
I'm pretty sure as of right now, New York is still part of the United States, which falls under the Constitution, right?
It does.
So why does the Second Amendment not apply there? To a guy that has no criminal background.
Yeah. The Second Amendment applies everywhere. Sorry.
Right.
As long as you're in the great United States of America.
If he was a felon, sure.
Yeah, I could understand that.
Yeah,
but
it's a different story. But this guy has no criminal record.
Yep.
He wasn't committing a crime. He was just tinkering around with these guns in his basement. And
I'm sure this judge is probably part of the whole P. Diddy scandal and all that, and Drake.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But not only did the judge do that, but the jury of 12 citizens of New York found him guilty.
That's BS.
So now this software engineer that was trying to do, the American dream of building your own guns because you legally can under the Constitution, he is now sitting in Rikers Island, which is a prison in New York that is in terrible condition. Like there's a lot of people that have been there locked up, and even people that work there that say the living conditions of that place is horrific. And this poor guy that is there with all these other criminals that probably had the Glock switches and doing real crime.
Yeah.
He's there in that environment awaiting his sentencing because judge and 12 other
I would take
people
this higher
found him
than
guilty.
Take it higher and go after her, and then I'd get her gone.
But the problem is that's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
And he's stuck.
Well, if they do that and he does win, guess what? They're going to have to pay for everything that happened before.
Oh, they won't.
They'll have to because it was a wrongful charge. And it was unconstitutional.
I have no
technically, if they wanted to battle this, they said the Second Amendment doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't exist, then that means there's no gun laws in New York.
He's facing 10 to 18.
Because she says there's no Second Amendment in her court.
Right.
So if the Second Amendment doesn't exist, then there's no gun laws. So they technically would have to drop all charges right then and there.
Yeah.
So New York, get your shit together.
So he's, for the having committed no crime, he is facing 10 to 18 years.
That's
which is
ridiculous.
Life-changing, life-altering. He's going to lose everything.
I hope something... Oh, no, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
I'm not
we
going to say
know what
it.
you're going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, that's... Of all the actual crime that's going on, they're focusing this.
That's
all
stupid.
A joint task force went to his house. Okay, you know the coordination and probably the money that was spent in that. Not only are you paying their people salaries for doing that, all this stuff and money goes into that. Plus, you're paying the attorney fees and all this court fees and everything for this ridiculous case. When they can be out there using that money to stop the people that actually have illegal Glocks, go find these guys and take those Glocks that they shouldn't own from them and do some more stuff to get these fucking Glock switches off the street.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would be... I'd probably lose my control on this.
You couldn't... This is... I love the East Coast, but because of the states and their governments over there,
Yeah, I don't want to ever go back to there.
No. I've been to New York City. I don't like it.
Not American anymore. That's the way I look at it. They don't think the Constitution exists.
Yeah.
They don't understand why the Constitution exists. And this is why Americans need to wake up and realize, hey, the Constitution's for us to protect ourselves. Go after this government. I mean, shit, we started going after because of a fucking 2% tax on a fucking breakfast drink. What the fuck? We get taxed on every little fucking thing we do anymore.
Yeah.
What are we fucking doing? Wake up, America.
Taxed, but we're having to pay a tip on everything.
Yeah. Wake up.
I go get a sandwich from fucking...
They're saying that was a tyrannical government for just that tax.
Yeah.
What about all this other taxes they're trying to pull? Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't let them do this. The Constitution's there to protect you. Use it. Read it. Understand it.
Apparently that judge needs to, because...
That judge needs to be disbarred.
How does this... I don't get how the Second Amendment does not exist.
That judge needs to be disbarred and gone.
And obviously this has now been made public, so is anybody going to go after her? Anybody going to look into this?
That judge should be fired and disbarred and never be allowed to practice law again. Because I'm pretty sure she has to know what the Constitution is to be a judge.
Oh, she probably does, and is so anti-gun that she doesn't care.
It doesn't matter. You're supposed to follow the law of the Constitution.
I wonder what she does to actual criminals, like in a court case.
They probably let them go with a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, oh, it's going to cost... Oh, you've been here a few times? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. You poor thing. You're just... It's mental health, blah, blah.
That irritates the living crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
F you, New York.
Yeah, fuck you, New York. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like California, you can go fuck yourself too. I want to know where the $24 billion was in tax revenue that was supposed to go to homelessness, and it's worse than ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to all the families who had ancestors that... Oh, what is that? That whole thing where about slavery and...
Let's be real. 1% of us Americans today, maybe we're slave owners, or even we're in the slave trades or anything like that. Your own people sold you. Get over it. It didn't affect you.
Yeah. Anybody that you're going to give this money to is going to make the state go broke, or whatever city.
Let's look at... You spent $24 billion was supposed to go towards homelessness in California. It should have made an impact in that state.
Not to mention all the immigrants that they're releasing in all these places. Oh, guess what? Guess who can own a gun?
Oh, yeah.
Immigrants.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, we're giving them money.
They're coming in here illegally, and they can own a gun illegally. How does that make sense?
Oh, I saw an article somewhere where they were saying that there's a spot where they specifically cross the border and then they go wait to be picked up. And then they're taken to a station and they're processed really fast. And then they are given money and a ticket. And they're like, where do you want to go? And they get a ticket to wherever they want to go. So let's say they want to go to
this is
California, wherever.
Us as Americans should be stopping that.
The immigrants have more rights than us Americans.
And that's wrong.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If they'd have done this in a Middle East country or something like that, they would not be alive.
No.
They'd be dead or shot right on the spot.
Like, I get you wanting to leave.
Better yourself, but do it the right freaking way.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem you coming into the country. Do it the right way, not illegally.
And a lot of people, it's more beyond Mexico and people from Mexico. You're seeing people from like Brazil and like all over the place.
Because our borders aren't protected. And under the Constitution, we're supposed to secure our borders. So they're right there. That's a tyrannical government. They have them wide open.
So, but they're getting more handouts than our homeless veterans who fought for our country.
Yeah, it drives me insane.
Yes.
Drives me insane.
So that was our rant on New York and the bullshit going on there.
Yeah.
So again, if you live in New York, make some fuss about these.
Make a fuss
things.
and get her disbanded and disbarred and gone.
I don't have the name of her right now, but I will find it and post a picture in post editing of her.
Yeah.
And Colonor did a whole video on this.
So if you see this person right here, make her life hell.
Yes. Or at least bombard her with the Second Amendment. Like send her, mail her these, email her those, like everything. Be like, look, read the Second Amendment. Oh,
in fact, send her the whole Constitution or make her reread it.
Is your state part of the Union? Then guess what?
Yeah.
This applies. God, I would, if I was that guy, I just can't imagine how he's feeling and just how I would be so mad.
Oh, I would.
You
would be
looked
livid.
up stuff and did everything the right way, and under the Gun Control Act, that is completely legal. I don't know if New York has some random thing to where you can't build your own guns. I don't know.
Yeah, but still, like, you still have the Second Amendment to protect you from this stuff.
And I want to know how he got on their radar.
Yeah.
Is it because of the credit card company started seeing this stuff and reported it?
Yeah. See, that's one thing too. Like, why are they watching what we're spending and what we spend it on? Mm-hmm. That's not right. I mean, this is we're on the verge of communism in America because of this crap.
On the verge.
Yeah, pretty much there.
California and New York are already communist states.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, you want to talk about tyrannical government? You wonder why they're scared and they want to take away our weapons and our Second Amendment. It's because they know they're already a tyrannical government and they're one big slip up from being overthrown.
Look at the states and cities where they have the strictest gun control. There is so much crime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crime has gone down and gone down. No, it's because there's not enough police to freaking do anything.
That or law-abiding citizens to defend themselves.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stories that you see of good guys with guns stopping bad guys with guns, but does that make the news?
Nope. They'd rather talk about other crap.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, the good guy that stops a bad guy with a gun in those states gets in as much or even more trouble as the guy that was doing the crime.
Yep.
That's our system for you.
It's broke.
Yes. And unfortunately, as we all know, the correction system is just fucked up. And the fact that this guy is facing 10 to 18 years, our system is meant to keep you in jail.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if you've ever watched those shows or talked to anybody that's done serious time, in order to basically survive, there's shit you have to do that will get you more time.
Yeah.
So there's no good behavior.
Yeah.
Unless you're a celebrity or a famous person with a lot of money, then good behavior.
Then you can be at home.
Yeah.
On house arrest.
Check out the full-length episode of the Workbench After Hours podcast right here.